Hi, this is Chuck King. Today on the King's Guide, we're exploring the history of the retaining wall on Spokane's North Monroe Street Hill. You've probably driven past this wall countless times without really even noticing it, but this landmark, possibly the largest unknown and unmarked landmark in town, quietly boasts an incredible history going back to the earliest days of Spokane. At the time of Spokane's Great Fire in 1889, a new prominent building, the Granite Building, was under construction at the corner of Riverside and Washington. Only the basement and foundation had been completed, so it was relatively unaffected by the disaster. But by the spring of 1890, all 6 stories of the Granite Building, including its distinctive turret, were open for business. As distinct as the Granite Building's turret was, another iconic Spokane building used a similar design and was completed in the same year, and the two buildings have often been confused for one another. For instance, in the 2009 Spokane Then and Now book, published by Nostalgia magazine, a photo of the Granite Building identifies the location on the corner of Main and Post. Whoops! Main and Post was not the home of the Granite Building, but rather the Auditorium Theater, whose turret was adorned by Erato, a Greek muse. You heard it here first, folks. Historians don't always get it right. The Great Fire consumed roughly 800 businesses and private residences in over 300 buildings only a year before the Granite Building was completed. So it's easy to imagine the relief and excitement people felt when the Granite Building opened its doors the following April. Dentists, doctors, and realtors occupied many of the offices in the Granite Building, and the upper floors were used as a hotel, while the main floor housed a retail operation called the Granite Store. The Granite Building's owners were a pair of pioneers, Isaac Kaufman and Henry Tilton. Kaufman was a real estate developer and an early mayor, while Tilton was president of the Washington National Bank. The 1890 Spokane Exposition book boasts that Kaufman was the most famous man in the entire state of Washington at the time. The Spokane Falls Review proclaimed the Granite Building to be the costliest and most elaborate building in the city. But 38 years later, the Granite Building was gone. The Paulson Medical Building replaced it in 1929, and the granite blocks used in the Granite Building's construction were hauled away to a vacant lot next to the St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church at the corner of Heroy and Jefferson. The blocks were intended for use in the construction of a new church, but instead, according to the Spokane Daily Chronicle, the City Public Works Department will use the material to build retaining walls, including the one on North Monroe Street Hill. If you take the time to inspect the wall closer, you'll notice some of the decorative elements of the granite blocks still show on the wall. The granite blocks themselves were quarried locally in Dishman, and the quality of the granite from this location was said to be as high as anywhere in the world. The same quarry provided granite to countless Spokane buildings and homes, including the famous Glover Mansion. These granite blocks, then, are the perfect unmarked gravestones of one of Spokane's earliest pioneer buildings. And now when you drive past this giant monument, hopefully you'll be reminded of the grit and determination of our earliest city founders. I'm Chuck King. See you next time on the King's Guide. If you like today's goodies on Spokane history, make sure you subscribe to Nostalgia magazine. You'll find more goodies in every issue. Ageless stories, ageless photos. That's Nostalgia magazine.
Every star above knows the one I love, the sweet Sue, that's you. Every star on high knows the reason why, sweet Sue, yes, that's you. Well, no one else it seems enters in my dreams, and without you, dear, I don't know what I'd do. In this heart of mine, you stay all the time, sweet Sue, that's you.